Hello, this is the chapter 3, and in this chapter, we will talk about the climate change and its impact. The chapter 3 is divided into three subsections, and these subsections are the first one is we will talk the global temperature trends and projections in brief. We will discuss the what is the trend of temperature increase or high. In the second section, we'll talk what is the impact of climate change on ecosystem and biodiversity. Its main objective is to understand from the viewpoint of the ecological disruptions. In the third section, we'll talk that what are the impacts on the human societies and its economies. We'll try to assess the socio-economic vulnerability and risk. So let's begin with the first subsection, that is the temperature trends here. So we are here at 3.1, and this 3.1, and there are three informations, very important information, which will help us to to make it clear that the temperature is rising. What are these three information here? By the way, this is the NOAA report, and this report you can download from the Google if you want to learn more this topic, and I will suggest you, if you are interested, you can download this report. So what are these three information? Information A, B, and C. The information A, the first information is that since 1880, if we calculate since 1880, so we'll find that there is a rise in the temperature per decade, that is 0.08 degrees Celsius. But since, because, okay, and the second information is, that is B, so the rate of increase since 1981, means just after 100 years, this per decade change has been 0.18 degrees Celsius per decade. So 1880 to 1980 here. The problem was not as much, and since 1980 up to now, this increase is 0.18 degrees Celsius per decade. So this is the problem, and this figure is showing only for November temperature anomalies. There are for another months also, which you can see with the help of this report. So there is a problem. There is a problem. And now the third important information is that all the climate model simulation project, okay, what reports, it reports that the the scenario which is going on now, here we are, this report is 2021, okay, 2021, and it is talking that at the end of 2100, means after 80 years, what will be the change? The change will be the planet's average temperature will be raised from 1.1 degrees Celsius to 5.4 degrees Celsius. So this will be the expected rise. Okay, in the average temperature of the planet Earth. This is the upper side and this is the lower side. So this is all because of this, the carbon dioxide gas. So this is the trend in the uh, rise in the temperature. And now look at this figure. This figure shows that the land and ocean temperature departure from the average January to December 2021 with respect of the temperature during 1981 to 2010 base period. So these are the spatial differences, the differences space to space, place to place. There are some areas where the rise is more, especially in northern uh, hemisphere. In the northern hemisphere, if you divide this hemisphere into two parts, okay, approximate, I'm making this is northern hemisphere and this is southern hemisphere. So northern hemisphere is more vulnerable than southern hemisphere. The problem is less in southern hemisphere than northern hemisphere. But this problem is also increasing in the southern hemisphere. And as you can see in the northern hemisphere, problem varies place to place. In North America, especially in the northern eastern part of America, here the rise is more. Similarly, in Africa, the northern parts of Africa and the Middle East part, temperature is rising more. Similarly, here in the China side. So these are the spatial differences in the temperature rise, which you can understand with the help of this figure. If we divide land and ocean areas, so the ocean areas, the temperature is towards negative side, as you can see here in the Pacific Ocean and parts of the Indian Ocean. Now we move to the second part. The second part is the impact of temperature rise on ecosystems and biodiversity. And you have to look this topic from the viewpoint of ecological disruptions. What is going on due to climate change? Due to climate change, the species distributions. If you will see the species distribution on the surface of the earth, you will find it is highly related to the distribution of temperature and precipitation. Where temperature and precipitation is high, so to that climatic condition, whatever species are found will be found there. Similarly, as you can understand that where this temperature and precipitation varies, accordingly the distribution of species also varies. Especially in the desert areas, you will find that the richness in the species is less. Very less species are there in the desert areas, little high towards the semi-arid areas. But you will find more species where there is more precipitation and high temperature. So as the temperature rises and these climate regions boundaries shift towards north side or shifting towards southern side, so similarly what happens consequently, there is a shift in the distribution of the species. Species also move slowly to their favorable conditions. So the habitat is the home, the place where species lives, and this home is changing. So due to this change, the species distribution, not only the distribution but the density, the richness is also changing on the surface of the earth. Then the second is phenological changes. Phenological changes means every plant has a life cycle. Okay, for instance, rice. You are growing rice for maybe 3 or 4 months. So when you start the rice, you cut the rice, cultivate the rice. So this is what the phenology of the rice plant. So when the temperature will change, this phenological changes will be there. It will affect the flowering and breeding time of the plants. The third is the extinction rate is increasing. We know there are some species. There are some species which were earlier. I mean, there were some species which are not found now, has been extincted. But this is a very slow process. But due to climate change, this process is fast. So the extinction rate of the species is increasing due to the climate change. Then ocean acidification and coral bleaching. So due to the increase in the uh, carbon dioxide gas and is mixing in the ocean water. So what will be the change? The ocean water will be more acidic and it affects the marine life, especially the organism with calcium carbonate shells or skeletons such as corals. So corals bleaching caused by the stressful environmental condition like warmer water, it leads to the loss of algae. Okay, when algae will be down, then the corals are dependent on algae. So if algae will decrease, it will directly affect on the corals and it will result to the coral deaths and the disruption of the marine ecosystem. The next we can say that there will be changes in the ecosystem services. Ecosystem is giving us the services. like fertilization. Ecosystem gives us the fertile soil. Naturally, our soil getting fertilized because of this ecosystem service. We are getting purified water, and there is a carbon sequestration. Extra carbon is uh, being trapped or cached by the ecosystem itself. But if ecosystem change will be there, this carbon sequestration will be lessened. So the climate change will alter these services, and ultimately it will affect the human population which rely on the services of the ecosystem. It will affect the precipitation pattern. It will and temperature increase, which will affect the agriculture productivity here. The surface of the earth, the movement of there is a movement of not only animals, but there are the plant species also moves from one place to another place. So some plants are very fast in that movement, and these plants are known as invasive species. And there are some species which cannot move as fast. So these species will have a big problem, and these species can be reduced and finally can be extincted. Then there is a fragmentation of the ecosystem. So the the ecosystems will be fragmented due to there will be fragmentation. I mean, there will be, if this is a larger area having three ecosystem, then due to climate change, this whole ecosystem can be fragmented into sub-ecosystems, and it will affect uh, the ecosystems and biodiversity. The next point is how it is affecting the human societies and economies. The first and foremost, which we are dependent for our food, that is the agriculture. So climate change will affect the agriculture due to the change in the temperature and precipitation. There will be some extreme climatic conditions or extreme climatic disasters like droughts and floods. And these droughts and floods will reduce the crop yield. It may be, it may lead to crop failure, and it will impact the food security. And those areas which are dependent, very highly dependent on agriculture will be affected more. Higher temperature can increase the prevalence of pests and diseases. And so this is the agriculture sector, which you can write a lot of things, a lot of experiences, a lot of reports related to climate change, how climate change is affecting the agriculture. And agriculture, if agriculture is affected, it will affect our food, that is, it will lead to the food insecurity. The second point is the health risk. When the temperature will rise, extreme weather will rise, it will rise in the heat related illness and deaths. Changes in the climate pattern, there are vector-borne diseases like malaria and dengue fever. So the mosquitoes will be distributed if temperature will rise. So the areas where temperature has risen will make the favorable condition environment for the mosquitoes. So the area or habitat of the mosquitoes will increase due to this climate change. There will be pollution, there will be respiratory illness due to the extreme weather events. So the second was the health risk, and then economic loss and damages. Due to climate change, there may be some extreme weather events like there may be hurricanes, maybe flood, maybe drought conditions. And due to this, there will be significant economic losses. Not only agriculture, all these extreme weather events can affect the infrastructure, and it will promote uh, property and resources, and some of the sectors, not only agriculture but also tourism, fisheries and forestries, all these sectors are vulnerable. Not only these sectors, another sectors also. So when there will be loss or damage in the infrastructure, property, then you have to go for rebuilding due to the disaster, after the disaster. So it will be a heavy burden on economies, especially in the developing countries. Then we come to the displacement and migration. You see those areas where the people, and such type of areas are huge. More than 80% areas are where the people are fully dependent on agriculture. And when the agriculture will be disturbed due to climate change, so it will lead to the displacement of the people. Displacement of the people, especially the temperature rise. Now their area is not much suitable, not profitable for them to sustain their lives, so they will move from that area to the urban areas. Not only this, it may be due to the sea level rise, extreme weather events, and degradation of the natural resources, especially the soil. So this creates the climate refugees who may face significant challenge in the uh, relocating from their origin place to the destination. So there will be a crisis of some kind of, the legal issues, social and economic barriers. And what will be the result? The migration due to climate change, it can lead to the overcrowding in the urban areas. It can increase the competition for the jobs, housing, and resources. Now we come to the social inequality and vulnerability. The impact of climate change. Those communities which are hardest hit due to climate change will be poor, and it will lead to the social inequality and vulnerability. So this is because of the climate change. And then global and regional conflicts. Due to climate change, water may be scarce, there may be scarcity of the water and agricultural land, and it can lead to the increased competition. So recently you can give many examples, and these examples you can take not only at local level but at global level. Now countries are fighting because of the water. They say that we have more people, but water is not enough. So we want to use this water. We want to stop the water of this river, and we want to make the dam for electricity generation, so we can sustain our population. So such type of things are creating the regional conflicts. The impact on insurance and financial markets. When such type of events, I mean the extreme climatic conditions, the events generated because of these conditions will be more, so it will develop the pressure on the insurance cost, and there will be greater number of uninsured losses. So the financial market will also be more volatile due to the climate risk, and it will affect the investment. So this was all about the climate change, the trend, the impact on the biodiversity, and the impact on the human societies. So now let me introduce you to the course which I have given you in the form of the web page. So this is the chapter 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 3. We have covered the chapter 3 here, and we were talking about the temperature change. I mean, especially we were talking about the change in the temperature. So this is not only the change in the temperature, but there is a change in the precipitation also. So within this course, if you are using this course, I will suggest you look at this web page with the help of your laptop rather than mobile screen, because laptop will give you a better visualization. You will find here some applications are there, and these applications will give you the the power of knowing the land use and land cover, vegetation change, rainfall, temperature. So all these aspects are very important for you. So if you want to know the land use and land cover of any place, you click at this application, and this land use and land cover. Okay. After this, you wait for a moment, then you click at here. Okay. Uh, well, I'm sorry, this is not the land use and land cover. This is the night light data, and it shows that this is the night light of the Abuja here, and this white color shows that since 2014 the night light is more, means it's stable, means development is there since 19 so sorry 2014. So this is not the land use land cover. Yeah, yeah, here this is land use land cover. You please scroll at your laptop here, then you can see this is the land use land cover. You can zoom in, and you can zoom to the area of interest, like if you are interested in FCT, And Kaduna, you can see, you can zoom in, you can look at the Kaduna here. So this is the land use land cover during or before 2018 here, around 2018. But yeah, and you can see the legend here. The green color showing the trees, then water, then flooded vegetation. This is crop areas. This is rangelands. More rangeland is there, but cropland is also there. Cropland is more here in Lere, and as you will move up, you will find more crop areas in Soba and another areas. Okay, but this green is showing the tree cover. So if you will move 2018 to 2022, you will see that some areas where this trees has decreased, or like if you see this area here, okay, this is 2022, but look at this, yeah, there is a shifting of the tree cover. So this shifting is because of many factors. Yeah, it may be the man-made cause or the natural cause, but this is the way you can see the land use land cover of any area. So I will correct this mistake here, and then I mean, if I click here land use land cover, you was looking at nightlight data. So I will make it correct. Then if you are interested to know the temperature of any place, here you look at this, and when you will click, if you want to know about JAWS here, you click here the JAWS, the temperature you will find here, the temperature of JAWS. So you wait for a moment because it is, yeah, so the temperature from 2016 to 2022, the temperature is given in the Kelvin here, and this is the temperature. Okay, so before you use, you should know that what data you are using. Okay, yeah, so this line shows the trend line. It shows that the exactly at the point where I clicked, the temperature is decreasing here. So this is remember, this is exactly at the point I click. Okay, but if I click some areas, I know because of the development, like this is Abuja here. I know that this is the airport road, and I know that this is the area where the newly construction or human activities are there. So hopefully, I think here temperature, it shows that the temperature rise because of the clearing of the trees. You click here. So there is no significant change in the temperature, but you can use this data. This was about the temperature, and you can see another data also in the lower part, like rainfall and another. So in the next lecture, I will talk more in detail, giving some specific areas, how you can collect the data and how you can use in your studies. So as of now, it's enough for today. We will meet in the next lecture. Thank you so much.